Alright, welcome back. Let's keep going. We take this little spring off and we're going to check if the cabin station is unclogged. Okay, so just stuck a syringe and go up and down, and then we spray some water on it and see it can draw ink. So the cabin station is good. And yeah. Now we're ready for some major surgery. I'm going to stuck a piece of paper underneath. Then another piece of paper on the top. We tear it off a little bit so it get a better protection. We're going to grind this carriage down until we don't see those screw holes. Okay, look like this. So we can use V3 dampers. We're going to use a Dremel tool, and I found this grinder attachment is the best to do this job. Don't worry, you're not going to damage anything, so grind as much as you can so a V3 damper can fit into it. A V3 damper has a long tail, that's where we try to make the space for. Now we're going to clean it up and vacuum it. See this right side of this kind of box? We need to rewire the cable into here and go all the way to the left. So we move the CRPW cable to the right side. We use the drill attachment to the Dremel tool, and then we're going to open up a slot right here. We make it deeper enough for the printhead cable, and just take a look of the printhead cable. And then this one will going to also cut through the dividers of the box. We do this because tubing usually get caught by this big hook right here. And then we remove that hook. See that? And we can just use the Dremel tool, just remove it. Now we smooth out this plastic piece too. You look at the caught on the top and bottom. See, from here, you can just cut it like this on the top. There's a tab there, just cut that tab off. However, on the bottom, it's kind of hard to cut. Usually just take it off. The double-sided tape is pretty strong, so you can take it off and then glue it back. You don't need to glue, just reattach it back. And see this tab on the bottom, we just can just trim it and make it flush. Be careful, do not cut through the holes, so leave a little bit space. Alright, so do a little bit better job on the top. And put it back. Perfect. And we drop in the printhead. You need to adjust it, make sure it touches the bottom, otherwise you probably have too much glue and you have to trim off the glue. Now bring out our special screw. We're going to install diagonally just 2 screws. Okay, the reason for this is eventually you're going to change printhead. You're going to take in and take out, take in and take out, and then you're going to worn out the screw holes. And we do sell the screw hole repair kit, but you don't want to go there. So if you just diagonally install 2, next time when those worn out, you can just switch to another diagonal. Now we're going to use the CRPW cable as a guide and just exactly follow where the cable goes through. And you have to visualize, so the CRPW is the out layer, so it goes the way around, and so when come around in front of you is more closer to you than the printhead cable. Okay, so where we go through the hole and just go through it. And go through this loop again. And the CRPW is still facing towards you, and with the printhead cable in the back. So now they all bend and together. See, So CRPW is the smaller cable towards you, and then there's a whole bunch of bigger printhead cable in the back. So we're going to number them. Just to double, triple check. So the CRPW is the outside. I go through a loop and still towards me. Then I bend. Okay, this is inside. Okay, inside. And we're going to bend all together, flip. We're going to mark the CRPW as a number 1. And then after that, number 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, by the way, you don't have to use a new set of cables. You can use the original cable come with a printer if that cable is good. I just get used to put a new pair of cables every time I put a printhead because I'm going to glue them together. So if I change a printhead, I change a cable. The advantage of the BCH cable is I made the cable a little bit longer, so it's easier we move the member out. So for every parts that I cover in this class, you can go to bchtechnologies.com and type in the keyword Kevin V2 version 2, Kevin V2, one word, and you're going to find a couple parts. So you can pick one of this. For example, I pick those brackets, and then the secret is you're going to see a little word say categories. So you click that categories, Kevin V2 category, and this brings you all the parts that are related to today's conversion. So you can shop here. I know lots of you bought my version 1, for example, the nipple conversion kit, still got the glue left, so you don't have to buy those. And this is the cable. If your original cable is good, you don't have to buy a new set of cables. All right, so we tuck the cable in. And this goes top, and that goes underneath. And here's our modification. We cut a slot so we can wire the cable inside rather than outside. And there's 2 more cuts, and then those are the old rails for the cable. So we put them in. I'm going to move the printhead carriage all the way to the left, all the way to the right, and you're not going to hear any clicking or dragging or any weird sound, and it should run smoothly. And so you adjust the cable and make sure it's tight. Then remember we saved that piece of cloth tape, put it on. Now we're going to take out some V3 dampers and make sure that the slot we cut is enough to put the V3 damper in. Yeah, that's all good. And then we take out this C3 tube. It's 8 strand. We only need 7 of those, 7 strands. So we cut a little opening and then we tear up one of them. So we got the 7 left. Oh, by the way, each order is 3 feet. If you know what you're doing, 3 feet is exactly enough. However, I usually get the 2 orders, 6 feet, so we have room to spare. If you make 2 orders of the tube, we're not going to cut it, so you receive 1 piece, and that piece is 6 feet. Now we take out the drag chain and remove the head of the drag chain, and we take out the essential brackets for the conversion. You can order them different colors. You can order them red, black, and there's a sacred white. Yeah, we use Shopify. Somehow Shopify does this, so this is a secret color. Anyway, click here if you want the white. We're going to take out that drag chain head conversion, and I'm going to insert this little door here. You can glue the door on. And this will replace the original head for the drag chain. Okay, and now we feed the 7-strand tube through the drag chain. Yeah, if you find it's hard here, you can cut to a triangle. And at each digit, you just press it down and push, and it will go through the whole chain. We feed the drag chain underneath, and then we secure the tubes and put down the head adapter. And now we take the PMA, printhead management system. So you ask me how the PMA works. You get this secondary tank that's to regulate the pressure for the white ink. It doesn't matter which direction goes. Basically, it goes into one direction, and in this tank, I manage the pressure, and then the white ink comes out. And then you get the left two outlets to the white dampers. Okay, this is white ink. And it also has this water line. And the water line goes into this water tank. I call it water line because initially I use water, and then eventually I found that it's better to use dye ink. So basically this is where you keep the maintenance fluid. So maintenance tank goes to those two maintenance dampers. Okay, so we get 4 dampers. 2 of them are white dampers, and 2 of them are maintenance dampers. Will come with the tubes already attached, so don't worry about buying tubes. And we're going to align those 2 holes on the printhead carriage, and then the head of the drag chain goes on top of the hole. So basically the holes on the maintenance damper is sandwiched between the printhead carriage and the head adapter. And we can just use a screw from the original Epson when we take off the parts. And then we're going to install the dampers for the whites. So the 2 left ones are the whites. And the 2 right side ones are for the maintenance fluid. We're going to point the tubes to the bottom and put it on the drag chain head like this. We put a little door there. You can put a little bit glue the door there so the door doesn't come up. And they're together like this. And for the tubes, we're going to use the first 4 tubes for the colors, KCMY. We're going to make sure those 4 tubes can reach the dampers. Okay. We're going to connect those 4 tubes to 4 dampers. Make sure you go through the first barb. The damper has 2 barbs, and the barb on the bottom is larger, and on the top is a little bit smaller. Just make sure you go through the first one. The tip is do not separate the tubes all the way to the bottom. So when you put them in, just like they barely can reach. So on the outside, if it look nicer, it just look like those 4 tubes together. All right, we got a KCMY 4 dampers in, and also we have the 2 white dampers in, and we have 2 maintenance dampers on the printhead adapter. So we just finished all the dampers. And now for the clear tubes, we're going to use the top 2 for the white ink. So one goes in, one comes out, and the bottom one, the bottom last strand is for the maintenance tank. So we're going to work on this maintenance one first. So this is how far we're going to need. And we cut it. And then we remove the elbow from the maintenance tank and attach the tube to it. Then you reinsert it. For the 2 white tubes, it doesn't matter which one you attach to. I just do them sequentially, and so they look nicer. Remove the elbow and insert, and put the elbow back. Okay, remember 2 tubes on the left are the whites, and the tank on the right is the maintenance tank. Now we move the printhead carriage all the way to the left. And that's where you're going to peel off the double-sided tape on the drag chain and attach the drag chain. Move the carriage to the right and make sure that it's long enough on the other side too. Now we take this bracket that we saved earlier, and we're going to cut off the top and the bottom, like the inner one. Okay, cut off the top and bottom of the inner hook. And that thing in the middle, okay, cut it off. All right. Trim it a bit. Nothing but smooth. Now take the tube clip from the essential kit and glue it like in the middle of the square and glue it here underneath so the tube will not jump up. And now take this CIS, which is on sale. Yeah, if I design it, I probably not going to have the top cover. Anyway, so if you have a CIS, make sure that your CIS has a 24 volts mixer and 24 volts white peristaltic pump. We're going to unscrew all the screws and remove all the caps and throw away the top plate. Okay, this plate with a BCH, we don't need it. On the bottom is the mixer. Okay, those two wires are for the mixer. We can disconnect right now. And on the top, that yellow thing is the white pump. We're going to disconnect that wire too. And for those tubes, the outer side two tubes, one on the bottom and one on the top, they are whites. And take this bracket from your essential kit and find a bottle that fits in, or you can just buy another bottle from the website. We have like a taller one and a shorter one, so this one is a shorter bottle. And it's better to find a bottle with a DBG neck. And now we're going to take out the white filter. There's a direction for the filter. And we're going to put it upside down, so the ink is going to flow from the top to the bottom. And from the bottom, it's going to feed into the printer. Now we can trim off the tubes, and the top four are colors, KMCY, and the bottom three are white, and maintenance. Okay, so we're going to separate those three from the color, and separate the bottom maintenance tube, and now the two tubes together are the white tubes. Let's connect the maintenance tank. The maintenance tank is over there. The maintenance tank has its own connector over there, and we're going to use a C3 tube. Those C3 tubes we sell at every 2 feet, so you want to make 2 orders too. So one tube, make 2 orders. For the 2 white tubes, pick the one you like, and we're going to make it shorter. Just go right underneath the filter. We're going to put a C3 to C3 connector. And this one you have to push really hard on the clear tube. It's not easy, okay? So you have to get it through the barb. And then we're going to cut a piece of that C3 tube and put it on the filter. And because there's no way you can put that clear tube through the filter's barb. The filter's barb is too big, so we kind of make them between. And believe me, this is the hardest one to connect. And the reason is we want the white ink have a larger diameter connection, so that's why it's always hard to connect. So spend some time on it. And now we can put a filter on the bracket. And remember, the ink flow direction is from the top to the bottom of the filter, then goes to the printer. So another white tube that we did not connect yet, that tube will be the return tube. Now we separate the tubes on the tanks. I told you earlier the 2 outside ones, they're white tubes. So the 4 in the middle are colors. So we're going to cut off the colors. We're going to use this 6-tube connector. We only need 4, so we cut off the two of them. However, save them. We're going to use them for later. Straightforward, just tubes to 2 tubes. After that, we use the 2 connectors we cut off for the maintenance tank. So the only thing left we haven't connect is the tube goes into the filter and the return tube. And those 2 tubes we're going to connect when we finish the electronic part. To finish that part, we know the direction of the ink flow. So for example, the white ink is going to come out from here and it goes to the top of the filter, and it goes to the printer and return from other tube. We don't know that until we power the thing up. Now we take this PMS pump and put this PMS on top of here, and plug in the power and make sure the PMS works. And we take the waste tube. We can secure the waste tube on the clip. Then we take a C3 Straigt connector and insert into the tube. Connect C3 tubes to it. On the TMS, you're going to see there are two arrows. One is in, goes into the TMS. So we're going to connect this tube to the intake. Okay, it goes in, okay, and we connect to it. And now we connect tube to the out from the TMS. And this out from the TMS should be long enough to drop inside the waste bottle. Okay, see from here. And going to go all the way and drop inside the waste bottle. And we'll give a little bit more. We cut from here. We're going to have another tube also drop inside the bottle. And that one connects to the other side of the Straigt connector. So the Straigt connector, one goes to the PMS, another one goes to the waste bottle. If you got a bottle from BCH, you can screw this bottle cap connector, and we get one tube from the capping station, the waste tube, another tube from the TMS. This bottle cap is designed to prevent the tube jump out when you do the pumping. If you save that little spring from the waste tube, you can put it on the one come out from the capping station, and we're going to use this tube for priming. Okay, so the other tube always keep in the bottle, but this tube we're going to unplug it and plug it back from time to time. That spring just for marking, so you know which tube is which, and you can just use a color pen or something to mark it too. The tanks need to be elevated. You can just use the packing from the tank, or we also sell those boosters that you can put them up like this. And we want to add a little bit of glue on it, so it'll stay there. This is just for the looks. You can just use the packing material. So this is not essential, so it's not in the essential brackets combo. Alright, we finished all the plumbings except the two white tubes. And tomorrow we're going to focus on the electronic part. Oh, look at that telephone. And if you call our support, it goes to that phone. I hope you enjoyed this video. Visit us at bchtechnologies.com or locally at Greensboro, North Carolina. Cheers. See you next one.